Welcome to Biography Break, where each week you are introduced to a new picture biography of a person you should know, read by somebody you do know. This week's biography is Regina Persisted by Sandy Eisenberg Sasso, read by Miss Dunn.
Regina Persisted, an untold story by Sandy Eisenberg Sasso, illustrated by Margot Lucas. Regina's heart was racing. She knew she needed a good night's rest, but she couldn't sleep. Tomorrow was the last day of her studies, and she was going to take the most important test of all. If she passed this test, she would become a rabbi. When the sun rose, Regina was already awake. She brushed and pinned her thick, dark hair. She put on her favorite green velvety dress with the puffy sleeves. Her mother had breakfast on the table, but Regina couldn't eat. Regina left for school early. The streets of Berlin were busy with bicycles, horse-drawn carriages, and motor cars. Peddlers called out their wares. The smells of fish, fresh lemon, and sweet spices filled the air. "Why so fast today, Regina?" shouted one of the peddlers as she ran past his pushcart, overflowing with fruits and vegetables. "This is one day I am not going to be late," she called back. Another peddler tossed a fresh roll to Regina. He said, "You know what the rabbis say, if there is no bread, there is no Torah." Regina smiled and thanked him as she flew past. Regina thought about the moments that had led to this day. As she nibbled on the warm bread, she daydreamed. She saw herself in the dark, damp apartment, placing her stuffed animals in the 2 rows. She had little hats on their heads. Regina pretended to read from the Torah and then raised it for all her furry friends to see. While her girlfriends played house, Regina played rabbi. Most people in 1913 didn't believe that girls should receive a religious education. They thought girls only needed to learn to make Shabbat and prepare a proper kitchen. But Regina's father taught both his son and his daughter Torah and Hebrew. When Regina was 12 years old, her father died. Sadness filled the house. Regina said the memorial prayers with her brother and mother at her father's grave. She made a promise. "I will carry on the traditions of my father. Maybe I will even become a rabbi." Her mother smiled sadly and said, "No woman has ever been a rabbi." "Not yet," Regina replied. "I will be what I want to be." Saturday mornings, Regina walked with her brother and mother to synagogue. Regina hardly noticed the other boys and girls darting in and out of the bushes, playing hide and seek. The synagogue, with its big round arches and beautiful ark, was her favorite place. There she felt at home. Sometimes, after everyone else had left the synagogue, Regina would stay to study with the rabbi. "You are a good student. Would you like to learn more about Judaism?" he asked. Regina nodded and smiled. But people complained. "Stop wasting your time studying with the rabbi," they said. "You should learn to cook and sew like the other girls." Regina heard, but she persisted. "Honk! Nay!" The street sounds interrupted Regina's daydreams. The drivers of the horse-drawn carriage and a motor cart were yelling, "Fräulein, stop dreaming. Watch where you are going." Regina arrived at school before any of the other students. She loved the scent of old books that filled the halls. She thought about her final essay for the class, in which she had asked, "Can women serve as rabbis?" Her answer was, "Yes, yes, they can." Her teachers all agreed. At least that's what Regina thought. But when she came to take her test, one of the professors stopped her. Regina, he said, I cannot let you take this exam. Stop trying to be a rabbi. You won't. Not now, not ever. Regina's voice broke. There are women doctors, lawyers, and teachers. There will be a woman rabbi. God created man and woman, and the world cannot be held up by men alone. The rabbi could not look at Regina in the eye. You'll get over this, my dear. With time, you will change your mind. He turned and left Regina alone. For a moment, Regina could not move. She could barely breathe. I will be what I will be, she said to the empty room. Regina told her teachers, friends, and neighbors that someday she would be a rabbi. They warned, be careful, don't make trouble. Be a teacher like other women. Women are not smart enough. See how Regina dresses? She doesn't look like a rabbi. Do what you are supposed to do. Go home and cook. Regina persisted. She was tired of being interrupted when she spoke. She was tired of being told what she could not do because she was a woman. She was tired of people telling her that when she got older, she would change her mind. She continued teaching, even without being called rabbi. Often, Regina would arrive at school late, out of breath from running, her dress wrinkled. She would sit on the desk and take out the sandwich she had forgotten to eat. She loved her students and they loved her. It didn't matter that she was messy and her clothes old-fashioned. Regina always looked her students straight in the eyes. It was as if she could tell what each one was thinking. She taught the girls in her class, use your eyes, ears, hands, and mouth so that you can hear, touch, and taste what it is to be a Jew. Some parents did not see the point of their daughters studying Torah, but Regina persisted. She told them there have been lots of strong Jewish women. Miriam was a prophet and a great leader. She led the women in dance and song after crossing the Sea of Reeds. Miriam, Deborah, and Esther were leaders from the Bible, brave and wise. Your daughters can do great things someday, too. Deborah was a great prophet and a wise judge. Esther had the courage to speak out against those who wanted to destroy her people. It was a hard time to be a Jew in Germany. A group called the Nazis had come to power. People were told not to shop in Jewish stores. There were signs saying, do not buy from Jews. Many Jews were afraid and decided to leave Germany. But Regina stayed. My mother is too old to start a new life in a new country, she said. My place is here with my people. Regina kept studying. 1 year passed, then 2. Regina persisted. She kept teaching. She attracted large crowds of people. Often there was standing room only. 3 years passed, then 4. Regina persisted. In dark times, she taught her students to find joy in Jewish holidays and to dance. Every year, Regina applied to take the test to become a rabbi. Every year, she was told no. Finally, after 5 years, the rabbis and teachers of Berlin began to see Regina clearly. They saw how much she learned. They saw her gift for teaching. They saw the way she cared for others. They saw her love for the Jewish people. They saw a woman who was already acting like a rabbi. On December 26, 1935, Regina Jonas was finally allowed to take the test. She passed. At long last, she was a rabbi, the very first woman rabbi in the whole world. I will be what I will be. Dear readers, I wonder what it feels like to be the very first at something. Have you ever had a big dream that someone told you was impossible to achieve just because of who you are? I wonder why Regina Jonas did not give up when people kept telling her she was wrong. Do you ever feel like giving up when things get hard? Have you ever persisted in doing something difficult that you thought was right, even though others told you that you couldn't? I wonder what you might need to help you persist in following a dream. I wonder if there is someone you can help to fulfill his or her dream. Rabbi Sandy Eisenberg Sasso.